Take water away from many parts of California and you'd be left with a desert. With the largest population of any state in the country and one of the world's biggest economies, California's fortunes have always been tied to water.
Water has always been the lifeblood of California. I mean, since the early settlers came and farmed in this region, it's always been such an important and vital issue. Today, it's become even more so.
After 2 years of drought, California's water supply is heading for crisis. And with one of the world's largest agricultural economies, it's here where the impact can be seen firsthand. According to the California Department of Food and Agriculture, crop losses this year were nearly $260 million as farmers either let their fields sit idle or abandoned their crops.
You know, when you see these trees prematurely dropping leaves and you start seeing, nuts shrivel on the tree, and you've got, $1,000 an acre into your crop, and that's just the crop, that's not the trees and that's not the land. Yeah, it really hits home.
But much of California's agriculture only exists because of an elaborate network of water storage and delivery systems.
California has one of the most robust infrastructure systems of anywhere in the world, where we have very large reservoirs that capture water, capture snowmelt, capture rainfall, and then we have these huge conveyance systems, the systems of pumps and canals that move water from where it is in the mountains to where it's needed in the valley for agriculture and in Southern California to support our cities and our industries.
But years of interference with the natural flow of water has drastically altered the ecosystem of the Bay Delta, the state's single most important source of water. Supplying water to the population and protecting the environment may soon become equally important.
Unless we fix the Bay Delta system, where a majority of our water originates, then we're going to have serious economic harm in the state.
For many, the solution is to build more storage to capture rain and snowmelt, reducing pressure on the threatened Bay Delta. One project under discussion is a new conveyance system that would allow the delta to be bypassed, giving sensitive habitat a chance to recover.
If you don't separate the environment's water from the economy's water and manage each for their purposes, there is no long-term future for a healthy economy or environment in the state of California.
But one potential issue with building more infrastructure is the cost, estimated to be in the billions. And that brings up perhaps the biggest question of all: who's going to pay? By some estimates, growers around the state currently use 80% of the water but pay for only 20% of it, with urban users picking up the rest of the bill.
Those who are going to benefit most from the construction of new infrastructure have to be able to pay for it. That's essential. And at this point, there have been no proposals demonstrating that those beneficiaries, primarily agricultural water users, are in a position to do so.
But many argue that the answer lies not in a larger system, but in a more efficient one.
As we make a transition to the 21st century, there is this conflict between those who want to do things the way we've always done them, always look for more supply, always build more physical infrastructure, and a new way of thinking about how we manage water more effectively and more sustainably.
Water conservation may be the way forward, but as a whole, the agricultural community believes that new infrastructure is the only way to keep California farming from changing forever. But Stan Lester isn't holding his breath.
The way the environmental laws work in the state and some of the mentality of people, it's going to take 10 years, even if we make the decision this year or next year. And I don't see that happening. And so I guess what it boils down to is who's willing to leave the state, because there isn't enough water for everybody.
Californians must decide how they're going to manage their water system, and the decisions have to come soon because another dry season this year could be devastating.